Court said on Monday that it rejected an appeal by 6 American Indians in their long-running legal challenge of the Washington Redskins' name, which they found racially offensive. Now, the justices declined to review a U.S. appeals court ruling that held that the plaintiffs had waited too long to challenge 6 of the NFL team's trademarks at issue in the case. Okay, now 30 law professors, 13 psychology professors who are experts in stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination, and by the social justice advocacy group. It's a coalition of nonprofit and religious organizations, and they're socially responsible. There's a lot of people who think it's racist. That's the point. And do you guys think that the name? First of all, we're going to cover this. Do you think the name Redskins is offensive?
I could see how it is. I'm not offended by it, but that's because I don't belong to that class. I could see how those people could find that offensive. I'm not so much the teams like Indians and like Warriors and Seminoles, stuff like that. I don't find that offensive at all. But Redskin is a little bit borderline because it is a slanderous term for Native American people.
I don't find a problem with it because when you think about the Washington Redskins, are you thinking about Native Americans? No, you're thinking about the football team. It doesn't have that connotation when used in this context. It's just a football team.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I don't think they should be forced to change it. I mean, honestly, I think it's a freedom of speech case. I mean, as long as it's not named after certain specific people, like the Seminole, they would.
But they're arguing that it is. They're arguing that Redskins, it's about a race of people.
But that you can't have it. Like, it's not a race. It'd be like saying, the New York Whiteys. Oh, that's racist against white people. No, it's different if it's like a tribe name because they belong to that tribe and they have like that name with them. But like Redskins is like a broad term. That'd be like saying you can't name your team after a broad term. I don't think that's right.
Mm-hmm. But they've been able to defeat teams whose name is just Indian.
Yeah, I don't like that either because that's the same thing, I think. I mean, it refers to a group of people, but in Redskins they kind of have a case because it's somewhat offensive, but Indians is not.
Here, I'm going to throw this at you. What if a team was called like the Iowan Whitefaces? Would you find that offensive?
No, I just find that ridiculous and laugh at them. I mean, come on. It's a name. If you don't like it, don't support the team. And I just think that's crazy.
Yeah, I think so too. They should be able to keep the name, and the Supreme Court's doing the right thing in this case.
I mean, we've gotten out of hand with political correctness. I mean, one of the junior highs in West Des Moines had to change their name from the Indian Hills Warriors because that was apparently racist.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it gets way out of control.
Yeah, I agree that it definitely gets out of control. I was actually kind of surprised because the name Indian has been removed so often. I was really surprised to read that they weren't even going to hear the case. So let's just go ahead and go play a song, and we will be back after this. All right, hello, welcome back to Informavores. Our next topic is the Thompson Prison over in Illinois. Now, what they would like to do, they're considering either Illinois, Colorado, or a spot in Montana, and they're going to bring all of the Guantanamo Bay terrorists over into the United States and put them in a prison possibly near you. Now, what do you guys, first of all, what do you think of, do you think that having terrorists leave Guantanamo Bay is a good idea? Do you think we need to get rid of that? Because a big argument is that it's a PR issue and that terrorists actually use it to recruit more terrorists. So do you think just a name change would do it, or do they need to move?
I don't care. Honestly, if it's a PR issue or not, these people need to not be in the United States. I just think moving it is incredibly stupid. It's just a bad decision. And I just remember on his first day in office, Obama signed it, and I was like, okay, he's going to sign this. And then the thing that scared me is he turned to his aide and said, what's this one do again?
Yeah, he turned to Greg Craig, the guy that I said is now gone.
Yeah, so he signed an executive order to do this that he didn't even know what was doing. It just shows that he is not ready to make these kind of decisions, and he definitely did not get all of the information that he needed for this. And it's just absolutely crazy to move them outside of Guantanamo Bay, but especially to the United States. That's crazy.
Ryan?
I think they should stay there, but I don't really have a problem with them moving to the United States.
You'd be fine harboring terrorists, in Thompson Prison, 100 miles away from here.
Put them next door to me. I don't care.
Really?
Really.
Now, see, I think that they should not come into the United States, but that's because I have a problem with them setting foot on U.S. soil. I'm not worried about them escaping, but setting foot on U.S. soil means no military. It's not going to be a military tribunal. It's going to be an actual court case, and they get all these rights, and they get all these others. They get all these new things that they do not currently have, but which makes it easier for the military to try them if they stay in Guantanamo.
That's my opinion right there.
Yeah, I don't want them in the same state, or I don't want them in the States at all. Not just because of that. I just don't want terrorists in the United States. Granted, the possibility of, one of them sneaking out and causing a terrorist act is crazy and ridiculous. But
So what are you worried about then? If you're not worried about them escaping, they're
I don't
in
know.
jail.
I just don't want them here. I don't know what it is.
So it's just some random. It's just a gut instinct.
Yeah,
you don't like it having them here.
Yeah, I mean that exists. It's not like I can't put it into words. I just don't want them in the United States. What's wrong with them in Guantanamo?
Well, I don't want murderers running around my country, but I'm not going to ship them off. Why can't we just put them in prison and they're going to stay there for life?
I just don't like it. I don't know what more I can say. I just don't. It's stupid.
I just don't. I think that the issue you run into is when you have to do an actual trial for them, and it's not a military tribunal not because there's some dark thing going on, but because there's a lot of military secrets that have the possibility of being released. Like there was a terrorist tried in New York City, I think, or somewhere else. He was just recently tried, and the judge only kept all these secrets hidden because of public pressure. Now eventually you're gonna have a judge that doesn't do that, and you're gonna have a lot of information getting out that shouldn't get out.
But don't these people deserve a fair trial out in the public?
No. Honestly.
Well, what if they're actually innocent and you're having a secret military tribunal for these innocent people?
Are they American citizens? Yes or no? Only say yes or no.
No.
Then they do not get our rights. That's finite.
That is not
That's
ethical
period.
at all.
I don't care if it's ethical or not. The Constitution was not written for people in Afghanistan, Iraq, France, Britain. It was written for the people and the citizens of the United States. I don't care what rights they get anywhere else. That's not my problem. That's United States.
It should be your problem.
It should not be my problem.
Do you hate the human race, Marcus?
No. You're going to play that card?
Yes.
No, I don't hate the human race. I'm all for human rights, but they shouldn't get our rights just because.
So you only like human rights for Americans?
No, that's not true at all. That's not.
So you want us to exploit them?
Are you Bill O'Reilly here? You're taking my argument way out of context. I'm just saying that they should not be granted these rights if they're not our citizens. They've never stepped foot on our soil.
But why don't they deserve a fair trial?
I'm not saying they don't deserve a fair trial. I'm just saying they don't deserve a trial in the United States. Who's to say a military tribunal isn't fair? Do you not trust our military? Do you hate our military? Is that what you're saying?
But I think public pressure would make that fair.
That's exactly the same argument you gave to me. Exactly the same.
Oh, all right.
Toss your hat in here, Schumann. Let's go.
Well, I just don't. I'm not against you. I just think that this is something that's very dangerous once this information gets out of here. I don't disagree with them having a fair trial, but I just don't want military secrets, things like that, to get out. I'm not concerned that there's some sort of horrible hidden agenda going on, but let's kind of tie in another one of our stories. There was a terrorist that I just mentioned. I just checked it out, and it was in Alexandria, Virginia, and he got just a life sentence instead of a death penalty because one juror did not think he deserved it. And he came out of there saying, well, I'm absolutely shocked that I'm not going to get killed. And he gave this long-winded thing about how a fair trial really is possible. And he's had this coming again thing. And so it almost works. I could see the point of this is that I could see how fair trials kind of make sense because it sends a message of how great the United States truly is, but I'm absolutely shocked that he did not get the death penalty. But
I am too.
I'm calling
that's actually a very big danger that I see coming. I see coming because we have 5 people who played a huge role in the 9/11 attacks that are about to be tried in New York City, and I don't want them to just get off completely scot-free and just spend life in prison. And then they're also not only going to be sitting in our prison, but most of them probably will get a lawyer that reminds them, oh, you can appeal and it's just going to get ridiculous. So keep